Good evening, everyone, and welcome to GrayManPrepping. It's time for Survival Saturday. I hope everybody's ready because tonight's topic is sanitation issues before and after disasters. And with the number of things going on around, there's a lot of people that that should have been paying attention to this beforehand. But first, let's get over here and say hi to everybody and see how everybody's doing there. Alrighty. So first one in was an hour and a half ago. Walt Rogers said he's headed back to the house. Should be there before we start. I thought I saw him come in here. Anyways, Howie, Food Forest Permaculture came in. Chipper66. Chef Tech is here. That's Mark. Butch Graves from Colorado's here. Sue Me is here. Oh, Walt did make it back. He's out in his barn, unsaddling, taking care of the horses. All right, so that's what he was doing. Geeky Gardens is here. That's Jack down in Florida. Kaylin Strain. Diana Two's here. CR, Created Redundancy from north of the border. Everyone's talking. Little and Prepper is here. Jay is in the house. Randy Trustale's here. Hey, Randy, have you guys got snow down there in Southeast Virginia yet? I said Butch Graves is here. Little Prepper. Virginia Bushcrafter's here. Hey, welcome. And I think I got everybody. If I missed anybody, I apologize. I just sent the grandkids home about 20 minutes ago and finished setting things up here. Hang on here. There we go. Get a little more light on it so it doesn't do the little sparklies over there behind me. Very small amount, Randy. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've been watching some of the channels down like in Texas and the other Gulf states that are getting snow. Someone was down there saying in Texas, say they got 8 inches. Yeah. No, they got 5 inches really wet, and somebody up in Oklahoma said they got 8 inches. Got to get my places right. And Checked Off is in the house. Then he's setting up his seed growing shelf, getting her to jump on springtime. Okay, so tonight is sort of like a continuation of the one that was about 3 months ago. We're talking about septic systems. Now we're doing it a little bit differently. We're talking about, for disasters and stuff, sanitation issues before and after disasters. And if let me throw the link in here for some of you guys to come on up here when we talk about the stuff as we go through. I got some steps laid out that I want to cover. So I'm going to go ahead and jump over on that right now to start off with. Okay. And one of the things we're going to be harping on here tonight is why should you worry about sanitation? Oh, the government's going to take care of it for me. They're going to bring these pretty orange little boxes out here for us. If you haven't seen, hang on, let me go like this for a second. I got to change something here for you. If you haven't seen how sometimes those pretty little orange boxes, how nasty they get. Yeah, when they go to clean them up and stuff. There were some pictures of the inside. Now I better not put it on there. I would definitely get this video yanked down just for what is showing inside. So we're going to go back to the outside. All right. So there's a lot of reasons why you should worry about it. I saw this quote, only a lot smaller, so I added to it. Disaster sanitation. You survive the earthquake, flood, snow apocalypse, fire, hurricane, tornado, or whatever, but you die of dysentery, cholera, or other waterborne or airborne diseases. That's why you worry about sanitation. And CR's passing the TP out for people. hang on. We got Lolo and Pepper saying, got a mix of snow and ice in North Carolina. Jay says, Art got hammered. Checks got way more than was thought. Oh, yeah, I know that. I haven't heard from my sister down. She's down in Spring, Texas. I haven't heard from her, so waiting on that. Let's go back over here. The CR leaves the soap out. Well, let's get going. All right, so one of the things I wanted to go over, and hopefully you guys are following along with this, is proper human waste disposal. Because usually after a disaster, certain disasters stuff, your sewer system, unless you're on your own septic tank, and even then, depending on if it's flooding and stuff, you may suddenly find your septic tank and system overwhelmed with floodwaters. But how are you going to get disposed of human waste? One of the things I want to point out is what's happening in Southern California. Let me go back over here for a second. Down there, when fires and stuff, they've tried opening up fire hydrants, hooked up the fire hoses, go to open it up, and dribble, nothing. And if there's no water in the fire hydrants, there's no water coming to your house for you to flush either. The system down there is taking major hits, and they're still trying to figure out why they're having the problem with the water pressure down there. Unless when all the houses burnt down, all their water is just, things are in some areas are just, the pipes are broken, so it's just spewing water in the burnt out husk of the house. But if the water department's on it, they can shut off. All right, that area's burnt out. They don't need water in that area. We can shut it off. They need to fight around the area and work with the fire department to shut off areas where water's just leaching out through broken pipes, in the houses and stuff, to area and get the water to areas where they use it. But even then, if they are doing that, they're still having other problems with water and stuff, not going on. And Lolo and Pepper, you're absolutely right. Those most of these porta potties don't have sinks in them. Usually they have a sink set up outside next to them, where they have like 4 faucets, and so people you get done using the potty can come over, wash their hands, and go away. But if you ever been in an event where they have those, that water, unless somebody's on it, runs out by noon. Yeah. And I've seen a few memes on it I'm not going to talk about tonight, but one of them happens to be the person that started a certain nonprofit to protect a certain color, and 2 of her 3 mansions burnt down. Broke my heart. Yeah. So, you need to think about this. If you're able to stay in your house, you're not having to evacuate, but the disaster has gone on, you have no water coming to your house, you don't know whether or not the septic system is going to be working. And some people, I'm trying to remember who it was, CB was talking to me about this. They're at a cul-de-sac at the bottom of a hill, but just at a slope thing. So there's a pump for the houses in the cul-de-sac that pump it back up the hill to the main line so it can go wherever it's going to go. If they lose power, they have nothing pumping that water out. They said they got several thousand gallon holding thing, so they can, it's not going to be instantly start overflowing into the lowest person on the street's house. But if the power's out and you don't have something to do, you got to figure out a plan what to do with human waste. Let me get it back over here. So there we go. Human waste disposal. Now, if you're ever at an event, these porta potties often will fill up in one day or less. So you can't think, we're just going to go down to the rental place and rent one of them. Well, they may not have any for you to rent, and there may be nobody there to rent them to you. So
I feel bad for the people downhill from me because I'm at the top of the food chain with the sewer system around here, and it goes downhill and crap flows downhill, and I got water to flush if I need to. God help the people down there. I just am glad that the wind generally blows from my house towards their house.
Now, something you just mentioned. All right, so the house in California where the staff sergeant's at, it's the house sits about 12 feet above the sewer line in the street. And I froze. And that puts it about 6 to 8 feet above the street itself. There is a manhole about half a block downhill from us, so it'll blow that manhole lid off before it can even possibly think of backing up the line towards the house. And then it goes downhill. Then it takes a little rise of about 6 feet and then down again. So it'll never reach us.
Yeah, except for which way does the wind blow? Does the wind blow up the hill?
No, it doesn't blow up the street. It blows across the street. So, and across the street is a new housing tract going in.
Oh, bacteria,
which reminds me, they just put a manhole across the street.
Yeah,
but that's going to flow downhill. Yeah,
airborne bacteria is still an issue then.
Yeah,
and not including what's exposed on the surface. Then
wait till I finish explaining it.
Okay.
That manhole there that could blow off will only blow off if the line between it and down below farther gets plugged. Now, I said the street goes up a little hump, but the sewer line still goes straight down. The sewer line goes down, doesn't come up at that. So where it's going down, the street will come down, up and down, but that sewer line is still going down to down below. And way down there, which is about eighth of a mile away, is the low spot on that line. And then it turns and heads south away from the street that she's on, and goes probably a quarter mile to the pumping station. So, so the only time there was a problem is somebody went and popped the lid off and let a bunch of the leaves and everything go into sewer because, we need to get this out of here, being an idiot, and it plugged up between that turn down there at the bottom of the hill and the pumping station. And so that one down there was bubbling over, and when they found out that this one's bubbling over, that one's not, there's a blockage between it, so they went down and they routed it out and just cleaned all the leaves and stuff out and checked off. I noticed that too. You're on the top of the food chain. I need your house in.
So my whole neighborhood plus the other side of the neighborhood, there's a low area, and in this low area is the pumping station. It's a little tiny one, and it runs off the grid. But they also have a Generac single-axle generator there that pumps it, but that's great. We run out of electricity. It'll pump until it runs out of diesel or until that generator gets stolen. Then the flood, then it goes into there's like the water runoff. They have like those dry holding ponds for when you get a lot of rain, they fill up. It's going to go in there, and then it's going to flow further down towards a field. Yeah. I'm uphill from there, but yeah.
That's like here in Basalt, the way they lined it out, the sewer line comes up the street from the mayor's house, up, catches the house next to me, catches mine, catches my daughter's across the street, goes 20 feet and dead ends. It's over there. It's stubbed out. It's blocked off. They didn't go around the corner, because if you go around the corner, you go halfway down the property line. That is where it ends over there, and it picks up the next houses that going down the street there. So it flows away from me either way.
So the mayor gets to deal with all the crap flowing downhill.
No, actually, it goes past his house down to the main street and then goes down Main Street. And yeah, so everything just kind of things, but some of the corners where, because the irrigation canal goes along, and so the streets hit like this, and so it flows away from the irrigation canal towards Main Street, down towards the pumping station, which lifts it up into our evaporation ponds. If that pump fails, then it flows. All they need to do is just open up a gate, and it flows over to to Firth, to their sanitation. They actually have a treatment plant, so it'll flow over to them, and they meter it, and then they charge us wherever it flows there. But yeah.
Yes, Sumi, I'm definitely at top of the poo chain.
We don't have. I have hills down here. My house is 12 feet above sea level, and the height at that point in town is 12 feet or 25 feet. So when you're going to need to think and plan things out. We're going to get into plan things here in a little bit here. Go to the next slide here. Then there are other biological hazards besides human poo. There's stuff in the trash and everything else that way. So, you know, if there's been a disaster and the garbage trucks aren't coming around picking up the garbage, this is a whole another factor. If you have kids that are sick, that are throwing up and not be able to throw up in the thing, and you're putting it in bags and putting it in the garbage can, hoping the garbage guy's going to come pick up, and they're not coming. Next thing you know, you got 20 trash cans worth of bags out there waiting for them to come pick up.
That's what burn barrels are for.
Yeah, well, you know, who has a burn barrel in an area where they're going to charge you $1,000 for each event where you're burning in a burn barrel?
If the crap hit the fan like that, ain't nobody coming around to charge you $1,000.
Yeah, but do you have the burn barrel ahead of time? That's what I'm saying. Like, I got burn barrels because we're allowed to burn here. Yeah, however, so in California, we're not allowed to burn. At least not in most of it.
Pick yourself up a big metal trash can and, use it for a trash can, or don't use it at all just in case.
Yeah. Or pick yourself up a used 55-gallon barrel with the pop top on it.
Yep.
And
punch a couple holes near the bottom and up the sides, and you gotta.
Just
that's
make
what
sure.
That's what I do.
Yeah, just make sure it didn't have hazardous chemicals in it beforehand.
Nah, get the food grade ones. Even though all the plastic liner on the inside is going to burn off first, and the paint on the outside.
Yeah.
But once you get it hot enough, that stuff's gone in like 20 minutes. Yes, it's in the atmosphere. I know.
Yeah. Okay. Butch replay from this house have a valve so you can shut it off in case of an event. The main or the main plugs or backflow. Yeah. Those are great.
4-inch or 6-inch ball valve. Those things aren't cheap.
They actually have a PVC flapper valve that you can glue onto a full. But it's a flapper, not a spring-loaded check valve. It's a flapper valve. So it's closed until you flush, and then the stuff goes by and it just flops back down again. And they have those in PVC for 4- and 3-inch lines. A lot cheaper than getting a mechanical valve. And then as it backs up, it just pushes up against it and keeps it from opening. So then you got to make sure you're not flushing it anymore.
As long as there's not a piece of toilet paper stuck in that flapper valve and it doesn't come in anyway.
Yeah. But you get pressure up against it. If it's toilet paper, it's just going to crush that shut anyways. Yeah. It's those hard turds you got to worry about.
Don't be flushing steak bones.
Yeah. So biological hazards, there's all sorts of biological hazards. As you know, I'm going to get a little personal for a certain gender here. Certain things are not supposed to be flushed down the toilet. They're supposed to be pulled, put in a trash can and go out in the trash. And
burn them.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is if you don't have the burn barrel, that's going to draw more problems. Those that have insulin needles and stuff, that's considered biohazard.
Only the actual needle is the biohazard. So you can snap those off, and the plastic part is what it is.
All right.
What's up, Lewis?
Lewis. Yeah, Lewis has just gotten rid of Lewis. I believe Sumi's up there. CR and Howie have all just gotten rid of a major turd out of their country.
Yeah, but what's coming in next is the other problem.
Yeah, depends who replaces that turd.
Depends who they selected.
Yeah. So biohazard, there's a lot of different biohazard things to consider. And look, you may think, I don't know how many biohazards. Will sit down and look and think. You'll find out what there is there. Yeah. The old detergent jugs are good for sharps and stuff.
Yeah, any kind. It doesn't have to be red. If it's your stuff and the crap hit the fan, any kind of plastic bottle, even a soda bottle, 2-liter soda bottle work.
Trudeau's still trying to stir the pot up there.
Oh, of course he is. He's getting all kinds of pushback going, you're not the governor anymore. Go away. On X. Yeah. Funny. Well,
since he's no longer the prime minister, I'm just thinking I'm not advocating anything. This is just my mind going weird here. He shouldn't have all of his former security detail with him anymore.
Yeah, good luck.
Anyways, back to this topic at hand.
He made enough money during the shutdowns to hire his own security.
Yeah. But once he realized how much he's paying for him, he's going to cut back on how much he's paying, how many he's getting. Anyways, so biohazard is something else you need to worry about, sanitation wise. All right, here we go. Planning. Can anybody guess where I'm going with this one? I know Steve would guess it right off the bat.
I'm going to go out and be a marauder. Everything is fine.
No. I have a 5-gallon porta potty bucket. I'm good.
Yeah, for a week.
If that, depending how many people are in your house. Some people think, okay, I need a 5-gallon bucket since that's what Bear so-and-so says I need to get, and that's all I need. Just have a couple extra bags for it. Yeah, there is a lot more to it. Your fantasy planning expectations is, it's not going to be that bad. I don't need to go into in-depth planning. Yes, you do. You really need to go into in-depth planning and figure out, oh, wow, this disaster, a hurricane going by here. Oh, I got maybe 4 or 5 days I got to worry about. Well, let's see, people down there after Katrina and then Rita, which was actually worse than Katrina, but it was out more into the country area. Those people were down there for 2 weeks plus without.
Learn how to dig a hole and deep hole.
Exactly. What do you do with the dead? That's deeper biohazard. Hole. I didn't want to jump on it right yet, but since we're into the planning stuff, yeah. Cold War Prepper has talked about on his live streams. Just in time prepping when I was on his panel there with Pimento Prepared and Uncle Al, we talked about it over there. Uncle Al and I have talked about it here several times. Shovels, backhoes, whatever it takes. Mark the area. If you have the luxury of having bought some
lime.
I'm trying to avoid saying the certain word. The head to toe bag. And you have some of those. Well, thing is, even if you have duct tape and regular heavy-duty contractors' garbage bags, that'll work. Start at the feet up, start at the head down, duct tape in the middle, and you bury them, you mark it, and you stack them, bury them, mark it, and once the event's over, you say, all right, here they are, here's the photos, there they went, boom, 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 and yeah, and if you know names and stuff on a piece of paper in a notebook, mark, okay, there's 4 high in this pile, 4 high in this pile, 4 high in this pile. Bottom one is John Jones. Next one up is Betty Jones. Next one up is Tammy Jones. Next one up is Steve Jones. And you identify them so when they come to excavate or exhume the remains to do a proper disposal of, they can do it.
If it ever gets to that.
If it ever gets that. If this is a Tawaki situation like we were talking about last night on Camp Family Compound, Tawaki, that's going to be 20 years or so before things get set back up again. And if it's that bad of an event, not just a disaster, if it's a total and
nobody's going to come looking for it.
Yeah, then you go and you make sure you dig that hole more than 6 feet deep.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what we have here.
I'm thinking more of like a wooden boat with a lot of timber on it and pushing it out like the Vikings and shooting a flaming arrow at it. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 5-gallon bucket thing, you'll need more than just one, depending on how many people are in your family, right? Because isn't that stuff like you can put that stuff in your garden, but it's got to sit for a while, right?
No, the 5-gallon buckets we're talking about are the ones that you buy the kit, comes with a lid on it, comes with the bags. After a couple times in the bag, you seal the bag up, put a new bag in it.
It's a porta potty
with bags.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've heard of people being able, like, they got to let it sit for a while, right?
No.
You can bury it.
You do not put this stuff in the garden. Not at all. This is, you poop in it, you get several of them in there, you pour the chemicals in it, you seal it up, and you put it out for disposal. This is not a composting toilet. That's a whole nother, that's something else to plan on. If you want to have a composting toilet, that's a different thing. And if you got those working right, then that eliminates a big part of your sanitation right there.
Dig a big hole. When you're done pooping in the bucket, dump the bag in there, poke holes in it, cover it up with some dirt, whatever, and it'll disappear over time. Your bags will still be there, but
yeah, the worms will make a haven out of it. Next thing here. Well, going back up to Kaylin's comment, yeah. People in the city will have more challenges than those in the suburbs. Those in the suburbs will have more challenge than those in the urban area. I mean, you got the city, the urban, the suburbs, the rural, and then you got the country folk or the hill people.
And they don't have a problem, nor will they ever have a problem.
Yeah. Once again, Hank Williams Jr. popped into my mind singing a song, "Country Boy Will Survive."
I wonder. I think you were talking about the waste, the human waste thing a while back, and how well would a septic tank work if you had one?
If you have a septic tank, let me go. I'm going to pull this
in the leach field.
Back to that. If you are on a septic system and your land is not impacted by the disaster, being a earthquake, flooding, extreme freezing where it freezes the line going out of the house to the septic system, you're fine.
Yeah.
But if you're not on a septic system, if you're on a city sewer, county sewer, regional sewer, whatever it is, you could have a problem. You also need to make sure where the lines are. And you can go down to the city and find out really easy. And say, hey, can I see your sewer plans for the street I'm on in my neighborhood? I want to see how how fast they need to worry about in case of a major disaster. And they'll show you. You can look at the plans. It's not, oh, you can't see them. It's like, sure, here you go, take a look, and you'll go, oh, okay, so it's that deep there, it's this deep here, it's this deep over there. Okay, I have probably 2.5 days to worry about it.
And like I know,
the notification for Corsair trainers just popped up. He goes live in half an hour.
I also know for my area that it's the septic tank, because I'm also on a well, it's got to be at least 50 to 100 feet between the two.
Yep. That's like a standard code.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
they have to check to find out which way the aquifer is flowing. It has to flow from the water well towards the leach field, not the other way around. Which also can screw people up thinking, well, I thought I could put it over here. No, the water's flowing from that way towards the underground water's flowing from there towards your well water. You want it flowing away from your well water.
There's some areas in Pennsylvania where nothing perks at all, and you can't put a septic in, but you can put in up to 1,000-gallon holding tank. But you got to get it pumped out like every couple months, whatever. There's an alarm in it. When it gets up to a certain point, you got to pay to have it pumped out in one of those honey wagons and taken away. You can do that, but if you got nobody pumping that out, when that thing's full, it's full. You're done.
Yeah, we call those cottage septic tanks.
Yep.
It's just got to get sucked out every 6 months at least. Yeah.
So I got some side chat here I want to get addressed here, and then get back to the picture here. Plague situation could be a major problem. Diseases. Doesn't even have to be a plague. It doesn't have to be a plague. It could be just normal stuff going on, like in a third world country. You got cholera, you got dysentery, you got all the other fun diseases that just, not a plague. They just kind of pop up and, thrive in with standing water and other things like that.
And rats.
Yeah. If you see flying horses, you might have a mental health problem.
Yeah. Or it won't matter at that point.
Yeah. All right. Yes, there are several books on, human manure. But yeah. This depends on who you're talking to about composting for 2 years before you can safely use it. Star Home said India. Over there, 6 months, the way they do the stuff over there, they start using it in 6 months.
Hell, Mexico, in certain areas, they just spread it on the fields.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't care.
And they sometimes, some areas, some cultures and stuff, if they found natural things like lime around, they'll add lime to it, mix it up, spread it out there, and during the wintertime and come springtime, it's broken down and it's one of those things. It's like using pig manure too. We had an air conditioning in the outhouse.
Yeah, even in the winter.
See, I just put a period to let us know that he's still here. Yeah, rats is another problem you're going to have with different things. And now, before the thing, just the disaster could be a strike. Exactly. What was it? New York had a strike went on for 3 weeks, and it was just absolutely horrendous. What was good? Piles of stuff going on there.
3 weeks of a trash strike. It took them 6 weeks to clean it up because they didn't have enough trash trucks and they can only run so much.
Yeah. And bags were getting torn into by rats and dogs and cats.
Yeah. And people.
Yeah. All right. Fantasy planning. thinking that, oh, I buy this and I'm good. I buy that, I'm good. I buy this, I'm good. Not realizing to buy the 5-gallon buckets, you're going to need a couple buckets and several boxes of the bags with the chemicals that go in there to disinfect and start the mummification, the desiccant process of the stuff. Also, you need to realize if you have one of those buckets for pooping in, you don't pee in that bucket. You have a different bucket for peeing in. You keep
you got
the
the
wet
backyard for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it's easier on the guys so we can go out there and pee on the tree like the dog does.
Hey, women can leave.
Hang on. I got to say this. You might be a redneck if you walk down to the corner with a dog and you both use the tree at the corner.
Yeah. Come on, my sister knows how to lean up against a tree.
Yeah, so does my wife. My wife swears she can pee her name in the snow, but she won't show me.
That's because there's footprints in it. Sorry.
All right. Yes. Separate materials. Separate the liquids from the solids. So you're going to have more than just, oh, I got the 5-gallon recommended pot bucket. Water filters. Most of your normal water filters ain't going to cut it. You want to want something a little bit better. You also need to plan on setting up a boiling station where first you get rid of the bacteria and stuff. Then you run it through a chemical filter to get rid of any chemicals that's in there. Then you run it through the
charcoal
0.2 micron filter.
Yeah, the ceramic filter, like the Berkey.
Ceramic filter with the ceramic dome that has the internal lined with the collated silver material. However you pronounce it. Yeah, separate food from other waste. Food is something you can, compost it immediately.
Yeah, you can compost everything. You can compost paper, cardboard, just not plastic bottles. Glass bottles are non-toxic. So you can just store those, do whatever with them. You want to grind them up into a powder. Yeah.
Save them for later.
Yep.
Let's see. Couple different types of cat litter in a bag for it too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. I keep my cabin. I have a 5-gallon bucket that's mostly peat moss mixed with lime, and it's all stirred up. And I throw a couple cups in my. I don't call it a composting toilet because it's a Rubbermaid tote with a bag in it that fits perfectly. And yeah, when I'm done, every time I just sprinkle some of that stuff on there, keep the smell down. And then when I leave, I just bundle it up, tie a knot in it, take it home, throw it in the trash, or throw it in my neighbor's dumpster.
If you're just disposing of the food, it'll smell. If you're already doing it now for your garden and you have a composting bin or one of those composting balls that you roll stuff around in, and you do it right where you don't, when you take compost out of it, you don't take all of the compost out of it. You leave about a third of the compost still in there and just keep adding to it and make sure you have plenty of worms in there. Food will last probably about 3 days before it's no longer smelling. And you have plenty of worms in there, man. They'll be all over that stuff, just eating it up. Even the meat, they'll get on that. You'll have the meat. You'll have the little black beetles. Toss a handful of them in there. They'll take care of the meat and stuff really quick.
Maggots too.
What's that?
Well,
maggots too. They'll take care of it.
Oh yeah, maggots.
Yeah.
Just do a trench line. You start digging a trench about 12 inches deep in your garden, fill it up, and as it fills up, you cover it up with the dirt from the next part of the trench. And the worms will just love it.
Yeah. You also can do a trench line for poo as well, because that's what scouts do out in the hiking in the wilderness. They do a trench line. Yeah, Kaylin doesn't have worms in her compost. She's in an apartment, but in the grass area around your apartment after the rain, if you see any worms up on the sidewalk, pick a couple of them up and toss them in there.
Yeah, if it's in her house or in the apartment, that could be an interesting issue.
Well, if it shares the compost bucket in there, she tosses some worms into it. It's probably going to eliminate some of the smell, and it's going to help it break down faster and quicker, and give you worm castings which don't smell. And then she can use it, sort the worms out, and just keep. She'll pretty soon she'll have to throw worms away. Because they get too many worms.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, they just dissolve into the rest of it. The other worms will eat it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're all alive. All of a sudden, you go like, oh, I got a lot of worms here. Yeah. All right. So, but planning. All right. So you got to plan for everything. Get out the binder with the notebook paper in it. Start writing in it. And if the plan you first wrote out on the one piece of paper doesn't going to work, take it out. Write a revision for it. Don't just think your first plan is going to have a plan. It's absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
I can go out there with the unicorn. I don't know how many of you can see that is a winged unicorn there of fictitious nature.
Wait, I have that wonderful phrase. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail.
Mm-hmm. And let's see here. And that's why once you have your plan, you practice the plan. You pretend. Oh no, power's out. Turn the power off for the weekend. See how long it takes before you have to turn the power back on. How well you can do. Oh, water's not working. Okay. Turn the water off on all the sinks, everything in the house. Crap, that's right. We don't have water. Practice the stuff. I don't know what kind of worms you have, CR, but the ones my wife has, she dumps them in there. All of a sudden, they just start eating everything up.
Red wigglers.
Yeah, don't get the jumping ones though. Those are the Asian jumping worms. No, you don't want those. You kill those.
Jumping worms? Never heard of that.
Oh yeah, I did a thing on it. Yeah, they're an invasive species. Came from Asia. They'll decimate an area, but they'll chase the other worms out and everything else, and eat up everything good in the soil. Let's see here. Next line here. So realistic planning and practicing. Practice. And like with a firearm, like Steve and I say with a firearm, don't practice till you get it right. Practice till you can't. Practice it till you don't get it wrong. Not just till you get it right. Practice it so you don't get it wrong. So yeah, and you need to, and if you're not sure about your plans, talk to someone else who's of the same frame of mind. Say, hey, can you review my plans for me? See if you can find anything that I'm short on, that I got wrong, that I'm forgetting about. How would you rig up a shower with no power and water? Well, it depends.
If you have no water, you're not taking a shower.
Well, I mean, he needs no water pressure. If you have enough stored water, the best thing I got several of these, and my wife and I have used them. The 5-gallon solar sun bags. You fill it full of water, you put it out in the sun, it gets nice warm water. Yeah, we use those where it's like, okay, it's going all right. Half gallon, get ourselves all wet, start shampooing at the top, and you use that shampoo, you just work it down and soap the body down. Then you rinse everything from the top down. And we've got it down where we can take a shower with 3 gallons of water.
There you go.
Scout camp.
I'm working on and I can't remember the name of it now. Basically, it's a 55-gallon drum with adapters on it. One at the bottom, one near the top. And I have all the copper coil I need to run it down, coil it around the fire. So it's a convection heater. So
right.
the water at the bottom is cold. It goes up the coils, pushes back into the top of the barrel, run it until the water is whatever temperature I want, take a shower. And I got 55 gallons of hot water to shower with right out of the stream.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing too. If you have near your house, you can get the black plastic barrels.
Yeah.
Just fill those full of water. And, of course, if it's going to be sitting there not used, go ahead and put your so many tablespoons of bleach in there to keep it from growing bacteria and, algae and stuff like that. But when those things are hot, you get yourself, go down to Harbor Freight, get yourself a 12-volt transfer pump, water transfer pump with hose fittings on it. Get yourself the, 45-watt panel and a car battery. You can pump the water. You can pump water out and fill up your bag because it's already hot in the barrels. Fill up your bag. Go take your shower and just that way you don't have to wait for the bag to heat up in the sun. Your barrels are already full. Those are fun.
I don't know if you guys got them, but up here in Canada, we got boiler systems where it's basically an outdoor wood stove, a huge one.
Yeah, central boiler.
Couldn't you hook up something like that, like a septic tank system where it just holds water and do it like that?
You mean like a 250-gallon steel drum like from your fuel oil?
Yeah,
you could do that. We had one of those at one of the camps I went to, Boy Scout camps, a long time ago. They had that right, and they welded extra steel plate on there to keep it from rotting through. And it filled up off our well up on the mountain. And you wanted to take a hot shower? It was like a communal shower. You want a hot shower? Better build a fire. You build a fire under it, and then it would mix with cold water so you didn't burn yourself, because you could get that water boiling.
Yeah.
And, it's good times. You light the fire, wait about an hour or two for that water to start to get hot, and go take a shower.
Yeah. And if you got enough scouts around, you're going to find a fire going under that from 6 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock at night.
Now, we used to go down to this shower. It was a camp we went to it wasn't our camp that our troop went to one year. And nobody was using it. And it was like cold and rainy. It was like, 55 degrees outside. It was kind of raining out, but it was covered up enough. And there was a ton of wood there. So we built the fire, had that sucker going. We had every shower head. It was like 14 shower heads. There was 6 of us in there. We had that sucker running. It was a steam bath. We're running around in our bathing suits. We had a great time for like 2 or 3 hours before we finally just said, okay, it's dinner time. Let's just go get something to eat. We were clean. The rest of the whole camp was not.
Yeah. Garden hoses. I actually have a couple of black contractor heavy-duty garden hoses. You lay that up on the roof so the sun gets at it and stuff, and it's really good. If you got pieces of plexiglass you can put over it, that'll get really hot. Let's see what I got next here. That was the last picture on that. Yeah, so whatever you're planning for, practice it. See if it works. You may have, I got this great plan. You're back to your fantasy. I got this great plan. You try to practice it. It falls apart in 5 minutes. Reminds me of a lot of Dungeons and Dragons campaigns. All right, we got this great campaign going. It falls apart. It's like, okay, this is going to be a cluster battle for the next 2 hours.
So, full disclosure, about 3.5 years ago, when things were happening, I bought a case of pool shock.
Mm-hmm.
And hold on, wait for it. I finalized this last night. Bought it, brought it in. It's out. I'm in my garage. It's my wood shop, workshop, whatever. It was over by near the garage door, not next to it. And every now and then I'd get a little whiff of chlorine. I was just like, okay, yeah, I can smell it. Well, the other night I'm like, I need something that's on this one shelf unit that the box was in front of. Well, I start lifting stuff off of it. Yeah. Every paint can on the shelf next to this case of pool shock was severely rusted and corroded. I had a coil of 50-foot coil of 3/8 copper in a box on top of it. The cardboard was deteriorating. The copper was beyond corroded. And now last night, I put that stuff in a bucket, took it outside, put it in like 3 trash bags. It's hard as a rock. So, yeah, even pools, I should have put it in like glass jars with like a plastic lid on it, but I didn't because I figured it would last forever. It didn't, and it pretty much ruined a whole bunch of stuff in the corner of my garage that always had boxes and milk crates there. I can't wait to go through some of the milk crates I have over there with some equipment from my dad's shop from a few years back, because I'm sure it's absolutely junk by now. So Pool Shock, don't buy a case. If you're going to use it, however you're going to figure out how to use it, put it in a glass quart jar with a plastic lid on it, not a metal lid, because that stuff will corrode everything.
It breaks down into chlorine. And it just,
And that's what destroyed I got a lot of stuff to throw out over here before it starts to leak.
Well, speaking about, Pool Shock and stuff, years ago, I used to work for a construction company, Mountain Cascade, and we'd get a pallet of the chlorine tablets in. First thing we do, we have all these 5-gallon buckets. We'd start filling up the 5-gallon, breaking down the boxes with the little flimsy bags in there, and filling the buckets halfway full, sealing the buckets up, and marking what it was, and just pile it in the corner of the supply room. And so we sealed them all up that way. And that way, when the guys in the field needed chlorine, there you go. Here's your bucket. Bring the bucket back. Because some, if we gave them a small box, here's the box. They'd leave it in their truck. They're done with the job. On to another one. Tools get tossed in. All of a sudden, they got chlorine breaking down. All of a sudden, there's a rust hole in the bottom of their pickup bed.
In the bed, it would rot through the frame and everything at that point.
Yeah. And
take out your electrical systems. Yep. Yeah.
So we went to do it, put them in buckets, and said, hey, we find out from the production guy up front, the guy who wears a 3-piece suit. All right, when are they supposed to be getting tested? When is testing supposed to be done? We give it to the foreman and say, all right, bring it back on this date. And if there was a change up where they had to do it again, they had to notify us, and we had to notify his boss. Hey, they're keeping it out there for another, 5 days or whatever to do a retest, and then we both get on it, get it back in there, because they lost several pickup beds doing that.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
So
they do the buckets now, and then that protects it.
So food for thought.
Uh-huh.
Just for those who like to think deeply into lots of things, just remember, if a piece of metal needs to get corroded and rotted away on purpose, find a hotel in a Tawaki situation, find a hotel or something that has a swimming pool. Chances are there's a couple buckets of chlorine tablets in there, and just duct tape a chlorine tablet to whatever piece of metal you need to rot out. And it'll only take about 2-3 weeks, and that piece of metal will turn to dust.
And if you add a couple drops of water to it, goes even faster.
That too. Unless you don't want to get caught, in which case,
Yeah. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. So those of you can go over to either to Corsair Trainers or Tennessee Tactical One. They're both going live here in about 7 minutes.
Yeah, I'm going to harass Steve. That's fun.
All right. So coming up on Monday on Camp Patton Family Compound is we're going to talk about your cooking library, suggest some books for you to add to it, and reasons why you should have these books. Tactical Tuesday back here on GrayManPrepping is how much power do you need? And I'm going to try not to talk over everybody's head power wise and keep it down where everybody can understand it. Thursday is the Midnight Ride. Friday on Camp Patton Family Compound, we're talking snow removal and other winter chores. And next Saturday here is elder parent care. Why did I put that in there? I don't need that yet. Oh, so yeah. So that's what's coming up here for the next week.
I got my avatar ready for how much power do you need?
Oh, guess what I saw today? Guess what I saw today about that?
What?
Guess who's starring in the new live action He-Man movie?
Skeletor?
Chris Helmsworth as He-Man.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. And I couldn't find the cast on it, but I saw it was the trailer for it. Big production trailer on it. I mean, they got a lot of it already. It's supposed to come out sometime this year. So yeah, going to be interesting on that one. All right. All right, everyone. Remember, stay happy no matter what life throws at you. Stay safe. Don't go out and do anything foolish, like playing in the sewer. Keep adding to your preps: water, food, medicine, clothing, books on sanitation, water, electrical. Get the repair books and stuff as well. And learn a new skill every month. All right, everyone? Take care, and we'll see you on Monday.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.